Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. This video is titled Councillors of State, and there'll be some picture of Dorcas Maximus, Prince, otherwise known as Prince Harry. So I'll cut straight to the chase because I don't like clickbaity things. I always try and make my titles relevant. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about Meghan's jam and her interesting marketing tactics because I've just worked something out. And I want to talk a little bit about African parks as well. Right, the Councillors of State thing. Now, I see, same as everybody else, that Harry has just filed through Travelist at Company's House that his country of residence is now the United States. Everybody's seen that. I went to Company's House and I had a look, and people have said that he actually changed it last year when they were booted out of Frogmore Cottage. And it's something like 29th of June 2023 that it was actually changed. Now, I've got my own personal theories on this, and this is where my big caveat always comes in. I may be full of nonsense, full of shit, so please don't take any notice of anything that I say. These are just my thoughts and opinions. I think he's going to be removed as a Councillor of State. I think this is exactly what I think personally. I've got no evidence of this, so, you know, take this all with a pinch of salt, make your own minds up. And you tell me what you think. I think was told a month or two back, we're removing you as a Councillor of State. Or they may even have done it before that. And so him doing this is like a preemptive strike, if you see what I mean. It's so that when that news breaks, it'll look more like he was removed because he officially put his residence with Company's House. Do you see what I mean? Which was just filed this April. Whereas if he'd left it as United Kingdom and they said, look, Harry, you're going to be removed because you have been physically living in the States for 4 years. So, you know, you just can't be a Councillor of State. You don't qualify. So I'm thinking that Meghan probably said to him, why don't you change your country of residence? And then it will look like it's the other way around rather than you've been booted off. Do you see what I mean? That's what I think. This is a tantrum. Yes, I did see that he cried and got angry and stuff when he was evicted from Frogmore Cottage, which he doesn't live in anymore and hasn't for years. I mean, why would anybody stay? You don't live there. Why? Oh my God. Now, Meghan's jam marketing, I finally figured it out, right? So she's made 50 jars of jam, and she sent them to a load of celebrities, and like 3 of the usual arse lickers have put it on their Instagram. No one else has yet that I know of. Maybe they're getting round to it. Maybe they're just not in the mood for jam at the moment. But I get it. I get it now why she did that. And everybody's like, you go back to Instagram and there's nowhere to buy it. It's because she's hoping that these 50 celebrities are going to go on Instagram. They're going to go yum, yum, jam, jam. And millions of members of the public are going to flood stores, I don't know, like Walmart or whatever equivalents you have over in the States. Because Walmart here in the UK, we have Asda. Well, I'm not in the UK at the moment, but she's hoping that consumers will flood the market saying, can I buy Meghan's jam? Can I buy Meghan's jam? And they're going to go, oh, we've had so many requests for Meghan's yummy jam. We better call up Montecito and say, can we stock your jam? It's negative advertising. Wonder how many department stores have called her up saying, begging, can we be the ones? Not many, I wouldn't have thought, but I see the reverse effect with Highgrove jam and other Royal products. So I think she'd have a really great career in for competitors. For example, we at Dolphin Safari have a competitor next door, the Dolphin Adventure. They're the yellow boat. So, you know, both businesses are in competition with each other, fierce competition all the time. We at Safari could, for example, enlist the services of Meghan Markle and get her to endorse the yellow boat. And then everyone will book with us. It's genius. It'll work, Meghan. I mean, you can have 2 ferocious competitors, and I mean, her name is just so bad. Everything she touches, everything she goes near just fails. they never talk about that. She did a kids book once upon a time called The Bench. And she did some kind of promotion once called 40 by 40. That fell flat. Pearl was cancelled. What other marvellous ideas? I'll put them in the comments. What were the other failures? There have been so many, haven't there? Or Archetypes. That was cancelled, wasn't it? That's going to be on some sort of Lemonardia thing that we never hear of anymore. There's a whole list of failures. It's almost as if Harry and Meghan thought that they could go out into the big wide world and make loads of money because they're both fabulously talented. It had nothing to do with the fact that they're members of the British royal family. Or maybe they have, and that's why they've been clinging for dear life to those titles. I mean, it's shameful, isn't it? That you get someone who, whatever they get involved... Oh, yeah, clever blends as well. They've done really well, haven't they? Oh, dear. I don't mean to be bitchy, but I mean, it's like everything the girl touches just seems to turn to shit, doesn't it? And Harry in this African Parks, right? Now, this is something... I mean, I don't know anything about African Parks. It's a big organisation. I don't know. There have been recent allegations, apparently, and he's just not saying anything, and that's not good enough. He's got to say something. He's got to do something. You know my thoughts. I've said before, he needs to get down there with his Netflix crew and explain the situation, because I'm sure it's not straightforward, and I'm sure it's not simple, and I'm equally certain there are injustices, but there are probably equally hard-working rangers that are doing the right thing, but there are others that are not. And this is the perfect opportunity for Harry and Netflix content, for him to go down there and say, right, these are the good guys, these are the bad guys, or there aren't good guys, there aren't bad guys, this is the difficulties, we're talking about cross borders, blah blah blah. Now, I watched the Royal Grift this morning, and she was explaining about where the idea of ecologically conserving national parks and areas where human beings simply just do not live and are not allowed to live, and how it started in Victorian days. Go and watch her video, I'll put a link. And that basically was sort of for the white, rich, privileged people back in the day, in Victorian days, where only they could go, you know, and that the local people were not allowed to harvest honey or fish or, you know, do their usual stuff, because these rich sort of supremacists had come along and told them what was good and what was not good in their own backyard, you know, where they should know better, and that it's come from that, and that really Travelist and African Parks, where Harry's concerned, you know, with his commercial side. I'm not dissing African Parks, because I have heard the other side of the argument of the good things they do from a YouTuber called Bookworm2, who I've been subscribed to for several years now. She's from South Africa, and she has her own thoughts and opinions, but I'm sure that she would never say, you know, they're all perfect, but it's a system that does work and does deserve credit where credit is due. But clearly something has gone wrong, and so what Harry should be doing is not necessarily condemning African Parks, not necessarily saying I'm standing down, because it's not Harry himself who's done anything. But what he could do, he has a platform, he has a contract with Netflix. Why the hell isn't Windsor going down there and showing everybody? Well, it's because he just jumps on bandwagons, isn't it? And you get these kind of people. Now, I can speak from some experience about this, having worked at Dolphin Safari for so many years, that we do occasionally get these sort of companies that approach not just the dolphin companies, but all kinds of tourist business, some connected to the tours of the monkeys and stuff, and they have no idea what Gibraltar's like. They've probably never been there, and they have these brilliant ideas. We had one, I forget the name of it, but it was about 10 or 11 years ago, contacted us and the other dolphin company. I think they were based in Brighton, and they said, if you pay us £1,300 a year, we will allow you to put our sticker on your window, which means then your dolphin tours are ecologically friendly and safe. And now, I can't remember, I think the other company probably did pay the £1,300, but only for about 1 year. My bosses went, no. Why? How is their sticker meaning that we are a better environmentally friendly tour than without their sticker? we're basically giving some random dudes we never met in Brighton £1,300 for what? And we do get approached by these sort of companies, these kind of do-gooding companies who they want to make a bit of money on the side. I mean, I've heard some idiots say that they save the dolphins by giving them names. I mean, when we go out and look at the dolphins, I don't know what their names are. We have nicknames for some of the really dominant ones. There's a big one called Bertle. So we just call her that so we can identify her to the passengers on the boat and say, we call her Bertle, so they know what we're talking about. But I mean, I don't know what it's called. It's probably called Squeak Squeak, or whatever dolphin bloody language is. But getting idiots coming along saying, one idiot once said they were going to count them. They were going to count them. I mean, here in the bay, a small pod of dolphins is 6, and a large pod of dolphins is 1,000. And the majority of the pod, you only see 10% on the surface at any one time, and they all look pretty much the same. And how you would count creatures that can swim up to 40 kilometers an hour and dive hundreds of feet in just a few seconds, how do you know you haven't already counted that one? I mean, come on. Yeah, I've heard some really, really stupid things. So it sounds to me like, you know, this Travelist idea of his is, you know, he's suggesting that, I really don't know how it works, that there are places on Earth where people might like to go on holiday. Well, don't people already know about those places? Don't they have the internet in those places? Or do other people not have the internet? Do we need Harry to tell us? Or you could go on safari here in this country. You could go on safari. They don't already advertise. We need Travelist to tell us that. Or is Travelist going to sell them a sticker, you know, pay us a couple of grand a year, and we'll say, oh yeah, that one's okay, but don't go the ones that don't have the sticker. I mean, is that the theory of it? I don't want to diss Harry or anything. I have no idea what the point of Travelist is. I really have no idea at all. But I mean, it seems to me they're just floundering and floundering and floundering. But at least Meghan, I suppose, she tries a bit of this and a bit of that, and it goes out there and it falls flat. She has made it over 600,000 on her Instagram now. I think she's at 603,000. So, yes, you know, she's making it one follower at a time. I mean, it's just not getting lit, is it? Because no one cares. Because no one's interested in them for their talents. No one needs their advice on lifestyle, how to live their lives. Oh, yeah, Netflix. They're going to have her cooking show, and the kids are not going to be on it. That was another thing I saw. Bizarre puff piece that said, I think it was in the Mirror, said Harry got his own way because he and Meghan argue. Meghan wants to show the children more and he doesn't. Bullshit. I'm sorry, in my opinion, that's bullshit. I think it's the other way round. I think Harry would like to bring the children out because he's a member of the British royal family and has been all of his life, and that's what the royal family do. They come out in public and they go, hello, it's me. They don't hide away. For the life of me, I don't know what was going on with those two kids, but I mean, it's a ticking time bomb, isn't it? It won't be long, you'll see. There'll be 16th birthdays, 18th birthdays, 21st birthdays. I mean, at what point are people going to go? Are they going to be, those kids going to be like Howard Hughes? Yet no one's ever seen them, or very, very rarely when we're not sure. Like the late Majesty said, seeing is believing, isn't it? Well, lots to think about there. I mean, I was just Googling them. They're getting more and more bizarre, that pair. And everything there. I mean, I can't criticise them for it. They've got to put out there being a success, haven't they? They've got to keep up a front, but it's not going to last, is it? I think in the months to come, at some point during this year, and this is only my guess, don't forget, I might be full of shit, I think that you're going to hear that Harry has been removed as a Councillor of State. And then you can think back and think, that's why he changed the company's house thing. Because he's physically been living in the States for the years before. And Frogmore's not the only house in the UK. Good grief, he doesn't need Frogmore to be a resident of the UK. He could rent a bedsit, couldn't he? It would be the same thing. As long as he lays his head there, lays his hat there, that's a residence. It doesn't have to specifically be Frogmore Cottage, does it, in order for him to say he's a resident? Good grief, they must think we're fucking stupid, mustn't they? Anyway, I'm I'm off to do my Pilates, so I've dressed up specially. But I'm going to go and do, look, I've got new trainers. I'm going to go and do Pilates. I'm really getting into that at the moment, and I shall be contemplating and thinking all about Meghan and her jam. How many celebrities so far have endorsed the jam? There's 50 jars out there. Have I got this right? She sent out 50 jars. And Nacho, the arse licker, has done one. And I think his wife, Delphine, or Dolphin, she's done one. And who was the other person? There was somebody else. That's 3, if I can remember the third one. So, only 47 more to go. Let me know. Let me know what you think. I can't wait to hear it. As always, thank you very much for listening.